James, thank you very much for joining me on Zoom today. We're going to take this opportunity to get to know you a little bit more and introduce you to our Knights fans. Of course, you are one of the new signings ahead of the 2021 season whenever it starts. How are you feeling how's your anticipation for joining us over here in Doncaster?
Yeah, look, really excited. It's obviously been a long time sitting around and waiting, and hopefully it's not too much longer. But no, very, very excited to get over there and get amongst it, try something new with a new sort of club. And yeah, I've heard a lot of good things, so ready to just rip in.
Back over your side of the world, rugby's been able to start, and you're into the Shoot Shield season with Sydney Union. I believe it's been a pretty good start so far. 5 wins and 1 loss, if my research is correct. 69 points for yourself, which, yeah, is a good record.
Yeah, no, it did. We obviously had a lot to prove, sort of being back-to-back premiers. There's always that sort of added pressure, everyone's sort of out to get you. But we obviously lost our coach as well to Leicester Tigers, which is phenomenal for Rob. He was always sort of one of those coaches where you knew he was only just getting started, but that obviously meant there were some big changes for us as well. We lost a few players previously from last year to Super Rugby and higher honours, which also always leaves a big divot in any side, really, especially when you've had such success with a core group. But no, as you said, it's been a great start. We're unlucky to lose against South the other week. It was a tight game. But I guess in many aspects, we had a pretty tough start as well in terms of the draw. But we've just sort of stuck together, and I think everyone had a pretty disbanded pre-season. We sort of only got 2 weeks where you could really get in and do some contact work and actually start training together as a wider squad. So everyone was kind of in the same boat. So it was always going to be a little bit of a scrappy start, but we've managed to hold our own. A couple of big wins. Warringah away, it was always a tough one. Eastwood last week at TG as well. But we've just stayed a really tight knit group and managed to sort of put that out in the park, which has been really nice.
You touched on it there, and something that our fans might be interested for how the UK's sort of return at championship levels rugby might be managed. Obviously, you didn't have the longest time doing contact in group. Did pre-season sort of follow along lines of started fitness and then a lot of non-contact and a lot of distancing stuff? And is it now pretty much back to normal over your side?
Yeah, it was. I think you guys are going through a pretty similar process to what we had. I know when it first sort of hit, we just played a game against in the Oz Club Champs, and then suddenly we've sort of spread all over New South Wales again. And so it was, a bit like what Doncaster's doing now. You sort of got running programs and gym routines that you need to be doing on your own. And then eventually we were able to start training in groups of 5 and then groups of 10. And so we started coming back together when we could sort of, it would be groups of 9 with a coach, and you just sort of do a rotation between fitness, skills, sort of all your non-contact stuff. And then eventually, after about 2 weeks, I think we were back into sort of groups of 20, which still no contact, but it meant you could start doing your set piece. Started looking and feeling like your sort of normal training session back together as at least a starting 15. And then, as I sort of mentioned earlier, we really only got 2 weeks where we were actually able to hit pads or each other, and then suddenly you sort of back into playing again, which was, I think for everyone a bit of a shock to the system, especially on the body. Everyone was a bit battered and bruised after the first game, but everything just sort of changed so quickly. You guys are sort of going through the same thing as well, where week to week, it's just, you never know what's going to change or if you're going to go backwards or forwards. But it was, obviously being so unprecedented, it was very hard to sort of manage. And I think everyone in the Shoot Shield did really well in terms of what resources they had. Blokes were building gyms in their garage out of concrete blocks, and bench presses made out of built at Bunnings and at the warehouses and that sort of thing. So it was a bit all over the shop, but I think it was something new. It was something different. It was certainly challenging, but I think it sort of in a way has made the shoot shield a lot stronger this year. Just through that difficulty and uncertainty, it's sort of everyone had to learn how to do things on your own, which is certainly I found a bit difficult or a bit harder when you're so used to training and with 60 to 80 blokes 2-3 nights a week, and then suddenly you're doing hill sprints on your own or that sort of thing. It got a bit grim at times, but yeah.
Yeah, I can well imagine. So just looking at this season, obviously, I've seen from the reports and we've told fans that you're quite a versatile player, capable across a number of positions across the back line. Seen you've been playing on the wing quite a bit so far this season for uni. Where would you say your favourite position is, and where you're hoping to make an impact for the Knights next season?
The difficult thing about being at uni is you're surrounded by so many talented players. So it's always just a privilege to pull on the jersey wherever you just sort of want to be a part of the group. I think personally though, I've always loved playing fullback. It's just my dad played fullback. My uncle played fullback in rugby league for St. George as well. So it's kind of in the family a little bit. I find you get a lot more space, a lot more options back there. A little bit less contact out of the teeth a little bit as well. It's somewhere where I grew up playing. It's sort of where I feel at home. So I'd love any opportunity to play at the back but as I said, it's just sort of just want to be involved and happy to slide in anywhere.
Despite the accent, you were actually you are UK born. Was playing in England something that you'd maybe always had designs on doing?
Yeah, I was born in Australia but moved over when I was 3. Dad started working over here and lived in Ascot for about 10 years, or in and around the area. I think definitely it was always an aspiration of mine to go back to the UK, whatever capacity that was going to be in. But yeah, it was definitely something that I've always wanted to do, and only started recently sort of putting in the steps to make that happen in the last sort of 18 months. But 100% always wanted to come back, even if it was only for a visit.
You, much like us, are waiting for information on when the championship season might start, but from in your terms of preparation, is it a case of you'll get a phone call from Steve Bowden and on the next flight over, or is it more complicated than that?
No, I've, as I said, been sort of unfortunately waiting for a while, but very much in a position where, if Steve gives me a call tomorrow and says we've got you on the next flight, then absolutely. It's sort of been sort of expecting something like that, given how uncertain everything's been, and just how no one knows what's going to happen. It's been prepared for the past couple of months to be ready to sort of drop everything and jump on the next flight, which is exciting. So yeah, definitely